This is the breaking professional wrestling news with the one, the only, the best on YouTube today. Affirmation, confirmation, deliberation, information, organization. If it ain't legit, you're at a severe deficit. Too legit to quit. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Triple H wouldn't be if he wasn't hitting Stephanie McMahon's. Pull up if you're really with it. The Don Banks joining AEW in progress, and Rob Van Dam versus Swerve Strickland. Look, I can't even get it out right. We're live. And here comes Hook. Hook with a steel chair. Oh my goodness. Hook has tattooed the machine. Brian Cage, the crowd is going nuts for Hook. He's on the same level as MJF and Dominic Mysterio. We in the progress. All right. Standing switch by Swerve. RVD turns out of it. Grabs his arm. The pinning predicament. Oh my goodness. We just got on the air. Oh, Rob Van Dam. Oh, he takes the leg and then the spin kick. Rob Van Dam in his mid-40s. He can't do what he used to, but he's out here in great shape.
This could have got ugly out here. Brian Cage would have stayed out here.
Rolling Thunder, miss. DDT. Oh boy. We covered WWE, Raw, AEW, and SmackDown on Fridays. Club New Genesis daily. Every day. Day by day. Brick by brick. And RVD outside the ring. Swerve Strickland on the apron. Now Swerve gets off. They're outside the ring. No disqualification match. Can y'all tell me where in the blue hell Rob Van Dam came from? I didn't even know he was part of AEW. Oh, straight kick to the face from Swerve Strickland. RVD hits the chair. Oh, Swerve Strickland with the stomp to the face. Rob Van Dam, former WWE ECW champion. Out of nowhere comes into AEW. I don't know where the blue hell he came from. And you got Samoa Joe at the commentary booth. They say it's a hardcore match, right? Let's listen in.
AEW World Champion Samoa Joe growing increasingly concerned as Swerve has been stringing together some offense here in our main event. I'm just tired of these pretenders. I want Rob to come out here and expose these frauds for who they are. Swerve, maybe think it's Swerve stop.
Swerve goes right through the table. Swerve crashing through the table. RVD hits him with a chair and he goes through the table. He goes through the table. Take that time to subscribe.
That he himself set up at ringside. Good night, it's over. Let's take another look here, guys. Watch this. There is the chair, and boom. Yeah, the back and the
He throws the chair while Swerve was on the top rope, and Swerve goes through the table. Can you believe that? We are live worldwide, nationwide. The Don Banks. The mayor, the monarch, the governor, the writer, director, producer. RVD strong splash, 5-star splash missions. He goes straight into the table. Swerve throws the chair, high knee. RVD is out.
Two.
Oh, he kicked off.
And how about RVD? Holy smokes, he took a chair to the face and he still kicked out.
That's true. Oh, damn. Uh-oh.
Swerve on the top rope.
Just latched onto the boot.
RVD climbs to the second rope, now to the top rope. Oh, Swerve bounces RVD head off the top turnbuckle. Swerve on the top rope. We know what's coming up. That double foot stomp. RVD. Swerve mocking RVD. Oh, and they stumps him straight into the mat. That's it.
Joe, I know you're disappointed. You can see the face of the world champion, the man. After the ass kicking that Swerve took in the first 5 minutes, what a comeback this was to win it.
Swerve Strickland wins.
To that point, what about the ass kicking that Hangman Adam Page took at the hands of Tall Leona? They come back and win it. I think we see a theme here, gentlemen. These both men like to take an ass kicking.
Oh, Hangman Adam Page.
Speaking of Hangman,
Hangman Adam Page comes to the ring, Swerve.
With his power walk.
Hangman watching out here. What does Hangman have to say to Swerve Strickland? Both men, 4 consecutive wins to start the new year. And not only that, 4 consecutive wins over top quality competition.
congratulations, you evil bastard!
Swerve later tonight, the rankings for the AEW World Championship come out, and despite my efforts tonight, we are both undefeated, so I can only assume that we are at the top of that list. And you said that you wanted Samoa Joe, that you wanted the World Championship, that you needed it, that I need you to look in my eyes, and I need you to know that I will never let that happen. Swerve, I am the next world champion, not you.
You still just don't get it, Hangman. You still out here repeating yourself over and over again. I've beaten you twice now. I got nothing to prove, not to you, not to anyone else. I don't care. You're just upset with the simple fact that you just can't beat me.
Hey, Swerve, you keep saying that, and I think it's because you believe if you say it enough, it will be true. The 2 times that we fought, you didn't beat me. It took all of the Mogul Embassy. Swerve, I know that man to man.
Should this promo occur at the beginning of the show?
Swerve,
Khan is always
you can't
messed up.
lace my boots.
You know what? You must be a masochist. You must want suffering or something. But guess what? I'll give you what you want. Me and you. One more time. This is the 3rd time. And after that, we are done. After I move past you, all I care about, all I'm focused on, and I'm going for, is that AEW World Championship. Well, Tony Khan has just made it official for next week's
Hangman versus Swerve next week.
Swerve Hangman Part 3 live in Phoenix plus
And we're going to be covering it. Let's see if I can do it.
CMLL will challenge the Blackpool Combat Club in a trios match, and Tony Khan has a huge announcement next week on Dynamite. What about this huge announcement we just had right now, Joe? Oh, I'm ready. I am ready. Anybody who wins this?
I love it, man. I love it. Come on. You're with the #1 content creator that covers professional wrestling. Everybody knows. We're going to give you the recap in a second. We're going to fix everything up. I'm telling you. When I tell you we're going to give us by the time of WrestleMania, this whole studio is going to be fixed up. The thumbnails are going to even be better. We're going to be covering WWE every day. and AEW and professional wrestling? Because I am the best at covering professional wrestling on YouTube. Everybody knows that I have the gift of gab. I am eloquent. I'm gregarious. I can say words that just come out of the thin blue air because I'm like that. I'm Mr. Pay-Per-View. I am the multi-$100 million man. I am Mr. Pay-Per-View. I am the superior of greatness. I am the mayor, the monarch, the governor, the innovator, the writer, director, producer, entertainer, one time and one time only, the architect, the best, simply the best. That's what it's about. AEW, I tell you, they cannot compete with the WWE right now. You know, if I can't even tell you that it can. The promo that Hangman and Swerve should have had a promo at the beginning of the show. And then Swerve should have went and wrestled RVD when then Hangman come back out the aisle and just staring at Swerve. That would have been way better than Swerve beating an old, washed up Rob Van Dam that came out of the thin blue sky than what they did. Because Swerve beating Rob Van Dam means absolutely nothing in 2024. If Rob Van Dam is not consistently in the ring, he might be on an independent scene, the indies, he might make some special appearances, but that's not even 40% of the Rob Van Dam from our day and age that could pull off these moves, not run out of energy, that was the ECW champion, the WWE champion. That's not the same Rob Van Dam. This Rob Van Dam looks like he needs to pay his bills. That's the reason why he's back in the ring. It don't even look like he really wants to be in there, to be honest. So it's his name recognition and value that carries the AEW main event. That's the problem with Tony Khan, is that he doesn't know how to utilize superstars. In fact, they're in such a crisis, some of the superstars you don't even see on AEW Dynamite. You don't know if they're going to be on Collision Course, and you know you're busy on Saturday or Fridays. Friday comes on or whatever, or Saturday. I don't even know at this point. I don't even cover it, but Tony Khan is a rich billionaire that is a mark for the business. AEW will never, ever compete with the WWE because they don't have the talent. I'm not going to say they don't have the talent. They have the talent. They just don't know what to do with the talent, and that's what's the sad thing about it. So we're going to go to the Dynamite live results, and I'm telling you, don't go nowhere because I'm going to tell you what it's about. Okay, so it started off, and we covered it, Jon Moxley versus Jeff Hardy. The match, it was so-so. If I was to do 1 out of 10, I would get a match at a 3. It wasn't even that good. And Jon Moxley put him in the rear naked choke and beat him. And Jeff Hardy loses so much that you would never believe that Jeff Hardy used to main event in the WWE and was also a former WWE champion. Now his career is over. Just like Daniel Bryan, just like everybody who comes from Edge, Christian, it's all over. Once you get into that AEW quicksand, you'll never get your career out unless you're CM Punk, you're Cody Rhodes, you're MJF. They know when to jump off this ship. Like Candice, she was on the ship with Enter the Arena and Club New Genesis Entertainment. She was dragging us down. Once she was terminated, fired, impeached forever, we started to smooth sailing because some people have a negative vibe and you can't let it bring you down. Adam Page versus Tiona Lona, and it was a dealer's choice match, and Adam Page won by crucifix pin. Commander versus Wardlow. Now, isn't it crazy how Wardlow fell off? Wardlow, at one point, people were saying, Goldberg, 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 Goldberg. And he would do the Symphony Powerbomb. Then the next minute, he got his hair cut, and Samoa Joe disposed of him. He was off air with an injury. Now he's back, and his push is absolutely stopped. MJF held the belt for an entire year. Them stepping up to the plate because they was actually pushing Wardlow before MJF. But MJF said, you know what? I'll go to the WWE, Tony Khan, if you don't give me that belt, if you want me to re-sign. So what did Doofus do? Doofus Tony Khan did exactly what MJF said. He gave MJF the belt for a year. driving MJF market value through the roof, and then MJF lost, passing the torch on his way out. You know, he is younger than Samoa Joe, but passing the torch and losing the belt. You think MJF is going to walk back in the WWE, walk back in AEW? If he does, he's making a wrong decision. He needs to jump ship while he can, so he can acclimate to being on the biggest platform in the world, so he can just learn. Because MJF is not going to be coming into the WWE winning the world title off the bat. No, that won't happen. But I believe he will be in negotiations seriously and intense. And if he stay in these negotiations seriously and intense and sign with the WWE at the right time, I bet you they do give him title shots and make him very close to the title. But it's probably going to take another contract signing. So I'm talking about, let's say he signs for 2 years. It's probably going to take a while before he wins it, because you got to look at Cody Rhodes, how long it took him to win. CM Punk didn't come through the door and just win it. Edge got back. They had Daniel Bryan. They didn't come and just win the world title. It was very hard to get the WWE world title. It's more coveted than that piece of tin, the AEW title. Wardlow wins by pinfall via powerbomb. I'm just going through this real quick. Chris O. Jericho versus Cal Fletcher. Chris O. Jericho wins by pinfall with diving Judas effect. Deonna Purrazzo versus Talia Valkyrie. The winner of that match, Deonna Purrazzo, wins by submission versus Venus de Melzo. Rob Van Dam versus Swerve Strickland. We just covered that, and the winner was Swerve Strickland. I give AEW a 3 out of 10. That's how bad the show was. It was so horrible. You know, let me tell y'all, if somebody stumbled on this video, go on Enter the Arena. You'll see Don Juan Banks on there delivering over 187,000 views. Now, some people ask Don Juan Banks, if you have all these fans, you got over 40,000 fans on your other channel, but you have yet to tell them where you're at. And you know why? Because when I do that, I want to be at my very best. And sometimes, like AEW, it's like Don Juan Banks is in AEW right now. I'm just saying, Club New Genesis is way better than AEW, but I'm just saying, for right now, the Don Juan Banks is like in AEW, where I'm getting my everything, my timing, my lyrical skills, my promo ability. I want to be the best. I'm not on YouTube to be second rate to Russell Talk or Sean Views or all the other people that's out there. I've been against Wrestling Jesus. I've been against General Jerry. I've been against Sean Views. I've been against Russell Talk. I've been against all of the main players on YouTube, and by them just simply seeing the fact that Don Juan Banks is back, knowing that my promo ability is bar none. Nobody on YouTube can cut a promo or talk like me. Now, when I was on top, why didn't I continue to go? Because Don Juan Banks emphasized Candice destroyed Enter the Arena. She had a child out of wedlock with unprotected sex. And what happened was she never had the guts to sue the biological criminal father who was arrested for armed robbery with a deadly weapon and for having a deadly weapon. And Candice, like the hoe and smut that she is, he banged her on concrete with no red carpet, like the gates of Buckingham. She opened up her scary, hairy legs, and she became impregnant, having offspring for the taxpayers to pay on. And this woman shut down Enter the Arena because she's a sick sociopath who's filthy, dirty, disgusting, foul, grimy, no sanitation, wild, unadulterated beast. She stole $350 from me when I was so kind and nice to give her money because she celebrated Christmas and she said she was in the Christmas spirit. I don't celebrate Christmas, but what did she go ahead and do? She stole that money. Then a flight that I had with Frontier Airlines, she stole that money. Now people will hear from Don Juan Banks and they will say, well, Don Juan Banks, why don't you just cut your losses? We already done that. She is terminated forever in 2024 incommunicado. But I have the right to expose a woman who's performing child neglect to a boy that Don Juan Banks raised and not her own son lashes out with every single command that she gives. Candace is nothing but AKA a prostitute, a terrorist, a baseless, ignorant operative with one mission objective and one mission objective only, and that is to steal Don Juan Banks' assets, including and not limited to his house, car, the jewelry, every single social media app, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X. It doesn't, what else? Every single thing you can imagine. She stopped at Don Juan Banks for expressing any feelings that he might have had. She basically shut down Don Juan Banks from achieving the ultimate goal of 100,000 subscribers. Now, you could talk about everybody in the past that said, well, Don Juan Banks, you're covering professional wrestling. This thing must be crazy. You must be out of your mind. Now, let me tell you something. If you had the ability and the talent that Don Juan Banks has to cover MMA, to cover boxing, to cover world news, to cover basketball, and ultimately WWE and professional wrestling, why do you have to hold Don Juan Banks down in oblivion, exile, and the abyss because I come on screen and I do a better job than every performer out there? Why can't you give Don Juan Banks the credit and the prestige and the aspiration that he deserves instead of trying to put this man down? So you know what? I'm telling you all out there now, because you had 50 subscribers to go live. When people click on the video, they realize it's Don Juan Banks who beat CM Punk. I told CM Punk he was going to get beat up in the UFC, and that's exactly what happened to Phil Brooks. But instead of giving Don Juan Banks, YouTube should be the biggest platform to come back on, just like CM Punk using WWE to have the biggest platform to come back on to get his name recognition out there. Don Juan Banks has to start his own social media company. He doesn't have Enter the Arena to come back on, but he has to start an organization, social media organization that covers professional wrestling news daily, and work with a group of investors to start from the very beginning, emanating last year in June when we was in the Dominican Republic. So you could tell how hard it is to get back on air and do what you love, because people have so much hate and vitriol to stop the 100 multi-million-dollar man from going out there and doing what he simply the best does, and that is entertain you. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Don. But the day will be dawn upon us when we do what? When we go on into the arena and we get all those subscribers and the views, and everything's going to shoot right up in the air. But for the time being now, if you have watched this video, you have a fiduciary duty to go and subscribe as we take this turbulent rise to the top. Watch. I'm telling you right now, when you see Don Juan Banks #1 on YouTube again today, you will say in your heart and your mind and in your soul that Don Juan Banks is the multi-million-dollar man, that Don Juan Banks is Mr. Pay-Per-View, that Don Juan is the end of the line, the end of the show, that Don Juan Banks is simply the best, that Don Juan Banks is the superior of greatness, and that Don Juan Banks on the mic cannot be defeated today or any day. Trust and believe that I'm putting everybody on notice. While I'm in the position that I am now, wait until we rise straight, undoubtedly, unequivocally to the top. Now, you're going to have that woman, Candace, she's going to come back because she's looking at these videos. And when she looks at these videos, she say, my goodness, I thought that I terminated this guy like Terminator. Terminator 1, Terminator Judgment Day, Terminator 3, 4, all Rise of the Machines, all this until they had to bring Arnold Schwarzenegger back to get the ratings back up because he is the Terminator. So I don't care if this man is 70 years old in a wheelchair. As long as he comes back and he's on screen, then that means the Terminator franchise can continue to go. But the moment that Arnold Schwarzenegger is no longer on screen, that's it. While he is alive, yes, they can restart it once he dies because people will accept the fact that Arnold Schwarzenegger died, but they will never be able to get out of the shadow of him when somebody else reprises the role that he made so famous. So as D. Don Juan Banks comes on air and they see the real life D. Don Juan Banks, just like people see the real life Donald Trump, they will say, well, that's Don Juan Banks. So I might as well subscribe because this man knows how to drop a pipe bomb. Peace.